keep up the good work. And then I was, did I ever tell you I was in, the cavalry? Yeah.
The Gospel Bill Show, featuring Gospel Bill, Nicodemus, Elmer Barnes, Miss Lana, Tutwater, and the entire Dry Gulch Gang.
GB, you got to get over to Ned's house right away. He's got Slim Watson, the outlaw, covered with a shotgun right now.
Slim Watson's over at Ned's house in the middle of the day?
Yes, see, Ned been working the late shift again. He was asleep.
Never mind all that stuff. I need you to stay here and watch the jail for me.
Oh, sure thing. Just imagine Slim Watson, the notorious outlaw, right here in Dry Gulch.
That's a real nice gun you got there, but don't make me any more nervous than I am. I don't want to step on this trigger. I don't want to die, and you don't either.
Ned, it's the sheriff. Oh, not at me. Point that thing at him. Looks like you've done a real good job here, Ned.
Well, thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, you caught old Slim Watson, Ned. Now just put your gun away and everything's going to be all right. Watson, you come with me.
Oh, I thought we were all going to die.
We are at the home of the Pencil Leg family. There's Papa and Mama and Rudy and Betsy, and is that Alma or Louise? I think maybe it's Louise.
Oogene, you're acting silly again.
Oh, Jeannie, I guess I'd better get down to business, huh? These beautiful birds are called flamingos. This bird appears to have only one leg, but he's playing a trick on us. He's holding his other leg close to his body. Flamingos have skinny legs, but they are very strong. Hey, I think this guy is washing his feet and his face at the same time.
Oogene, he's eating and is standing in his plate.
Oh, Mom would clobber me if I stood in my plate. If I did that, we could really have mashed potatoes. Flamingos are large in comparison to other birds. Their long legs make them excellent waders, and their long necks enable them to reach into the water for food. Long ago, the flamingos were called firebirds because of their bright orange color. In fact, the first four letters, F-L-A-M, are the same as the first four letters of the word flame. Flamingos are tropical birds. That means they are suited for warm climates. They can't live just anywhere. They need lots of warm water and sunshine. Hey, guys, don't start that again. Remember, the last time you fought, you got your necks tangled together, and it took me 2 hours to separate you. Come on, fellas, settle down. It doesn't matter who started it. Now quit fighting. Flamingos are gregarious birds. They like to stick together in groups. That means they've got to know how to get along with one another. Jesus told us to love our neighbors as ourselves. If we would learn to treat others the way we like to be treated, we'd find it much easier to get along.
Once again, the streets of Dry Gulch are safe for our women folk and for our children. Why, even the cows is a-chewing on their cuds more contentedly this day.
What are you talking about?
You haven't heard?
Well, I guess I haven't.
Well, that notorious outlaw Slim Watson is incarcerated in the Dry Gulch County Jail.
Oh, well, what happened?
Well, see, it all happened over at Ned's house. See, old Slim was going to go in there in the daytime and rob him because he didn't think anybody was at home, but Ned was asleep, and see, he'd worked that late shift again. You know, I told Ned when he took that job, Ned, you're going to take this job, you're going to be working 15, 16 hours a day. You're going to get away from the wife and the kids.
Nicodemus, just tell me what happened.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, he comes sneaking in the house, see, but Ned was there, and he gets a drop on him with his double-barrel shotgun. And then Ned sends me over, see, and I get Gospel Bill. And Gospel Bill comes over there, see, and he grabs him, and he takes him back over there, see, and he throws him in the jail and locks the door. And right now, he is locked up in the jail.
Oh. Well, I want to ask you something. Is Slim Watson as mean in person as he looks on his posters?
Mean-looking, Miss Lana? He is more mean-looking than them posters. And he is so ugly.
How ugly is he?
Well, he's so ugly, he has to sneak up on a drink of water. He is so ugly, it's no wonder he resorted to a life of crime.
Well, what does being ugly have to do with living a life of crime?
Well, he's so ugly he couldn't be seen in public, I'm sure, so he had to sneak around all his life, and, well, it just led him into being an outlaw.
Oh, Nicodemus.
Hey, boy, do I have problems.
Well, what's the matter, Elmer?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing. You see, I can't get a date. I don't know what to say.
Well, what can I do for you?
Well, I heard you was a woman and all, and I thought you could give me some advice.
Oh, I think you've come to the wrong person for that. I think you ought to be talking to a man.
Well, who could I get?
Well, I'll see. Let me think. I just can't think of anybody right now.
I'll need to find somebody.
I just can't think of anybody right now, Elmer.
If I don't find somebody, I'll just be depressed the rest of my life. Is there something wrong with your throat?
No, Elmer, you know, if you need some advice with women-type folk, your feet have brought you to the right location.
Where?
Well, me, Elmer, I mean, I had all sorts of practical-type experience with women folk. You know, they don't call me the Romeo of the range for nothing.
Who calls you that?
Well, I've probably said it myself 150 times, you know. Then you see, Elmer, what you got to do is you got to know when to give them flowers and just that right moment to give them the candy, you know, and say those sweet little things that they like to hear. Elmer, I could give you all sorts of good advice on that, you know.
Well, give it to me.
Well, I can't do it here, Elmer. I mean, there's a woman there, and we can't let them know all of her secrets. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's step out in the street, see, and I'll talk to you that way. Miss Lana can't hear us, okay? Okay. Miss Lana, me and Elmer's going to step out in the street here and do a little talking. We'll see you later, okay?
Okay. You boys have a nice chat.
Elmer, this is your blessed and fortunate day. Why, the things I'm fixing to share with you are things and principles that I've perfected through years of practical application. They're things that have stood the test of time through trial and error.
Well, quit flapping your jaw and tell me. Miss Lana can't hear you.
Okay, Elmer, women like things that smell real good. You know, they like flowers that smell good. And they like candy that smells real good. And they like perfume that smells.
Well, I smell a whole lot. They ought to like me.
And that's not the kind of smell I'm talking about. I'm talking about sweet smell. Have you thought about taking a bath lately? Never mind. Listen, Elmer, just remember, you got to have things that smell. Perfume, candy, and flowers.
Perfume, candy, and flowers. Okay, I got it.
Up, hold it, Elmer. That's only the first principle that'll lead you down a long and winding road to successful and happy dating.
Well, how do I find this road?
Okay, let me tell you. See,
Excuse me, gentlemen. I was wondering if you might give me directions to the jail in town.
Well, the jail, you just go right down here and then you take a quick ride and you'll be there.
Much obliged. Thank you.
Let's see, now, where was I?
Well, you're about to tell me how to get on the entry ramp to the freeway of dating.
Yeah. The first thing you gotta do now, Elmer, this is the very first thing.
J.D. Whitaker, Sheriff, Wells Fargo agent, here to pick up your prisoner.
Well, pleased to meet you, Mr. Whitaker. Gospel Bill. This is Watson's gun, and I'm sure Wells Fargo's mighty happy to hear that he's behind bars.
So happy they're paying a $5,000 reward for his capture.
$5,000. That's a lot of money. Watson, on your feet. Put those hands over your head.
As soon as I drop him off at the jail wagon, Sheriff, I'll be back in town with the reward money.
Yeah, sounds all right to me.
See you in a couple of hours.
$5,000. Boy, it's a lot of money for one outlaw.
So, Elmer, women like to go out with a feller that's real strong and brave-like.
Well, I'm strong.
Yeah, that's good. That way they think you can take care of them, see?
Well, I can do that.
Yeah, so what you got to do is when you ask them out, you got to tell them stories about how brave that you are.
Like what?
Well, when I ask a woman out, I got so many stories I can't think of them all now. I'll tell her a story about how brave I am, like the times that I've helped Gospel Bill, or maybe the times that I've snuck up and got the drop on outlaws, stuff like that.
Well, I ain't got no stories like that. I got fishing stories, like the time I caught Big Daddy.
No, Elmer, no fishing stories. Women like stories about you being brave now.
About me being brave, I ain't got none.
You want to go out with a woman, don't you?
Yes.
You better be coming up with some brave-type stories.
Okay.
All right, well, you work on that, and I'll see you later.
Bravery. Thanks a lot, Nick. Bravery.
Well, there you go, dear. That ought to take care of you for one more year.
Slim Watson's escaped. How could you let this happen?
I didn't let Slim Watson escape. A Wells Fargo agent picked him up 15 minutes ago.
Oh, that must have been the feller I met out in the street. I told him where the jail was.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, I knew that.
Ned's going to be awful rich when this whole thing's over with. That Wells Fargo agent is coming back in a few minutes. He's going to bring back $5,000 in reward money.
Wait a minute. Ned gets all that reward money? Well, surely you get part of it, don't you?
Well, no. Ned had the whole thing wrapped up by the time I got there.
Well, now, wait a minute. It seems to me, you being the arresting officer and all, you ought to get a good piece of that money for yourself.
Well, Nicodemus, as far as I'm concerned, Ned did the job, so he gets the money.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Hey, maybe old Ned won't be so nervous since he's got a little money. Hey, I got a great idea. Since old Ned's got all that money, maybe he'll take me and you out for a steak dinner, huh?
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Did I ever tell you, I was, in the Civil War? Yeah, and I was a war hero. They needed somebody to go to the front of the battle. And I said, don't send anybody else. Send me. And they did. And I went up there and I conquered 2 armies. No, 3. There were so many, it was hard to remember. And they gave me a whole bunch of medals. So many, I don't wear them anymore because they're too heavy. They rip my shirt.
Hey, Elmer, hey, how's it going?
It's going good, Nicodemus, thanks.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
And then I was, did I ever tell you I was in, the cavalry?
Yeah.